I got some comic books to show. That intro. Yeah, I'm trying to be goofy there, but anyhow, this comic book finds volume pickups is actually coming between the 101st vlog or after. I'm gonna place it at some point, so either in the middle of the part one, and then the part two of it, or it's gonna be after. So if you've seen it, you already know that me and Eddie went to Big Lick Comics in Roanoke. Eddie's been there a few times and told me, he's like, dude, you're gonna like this store, and I did. I really enjoyed that store. And B&D, their new location, which I hadn't been in years. The last time I went was about a year or two before they had to move. And if you've seen older videos, you've seen where we filmed there and walked around and had a good time back in the cabin. And I told that one lady, I was like, I miss the cabin. I miss the cabin aspect of that place because it was so cool. And she told me it was kind of small and cramped, but I think she told me she could actually touch the top of the wall. But that's to me, that's what made it so nice. It was there. He was there for like 30 years. She told me. And anyhow, I picked up some books at Big Lick and B&D, but I actually got some before I got with Eddie that I've been meaning to show in a volume. And the first three actually we was together in the 100th ECW fan vlog, and I'll go ahead and show those if I haven't showed these before. I probably have. I probably showed them back then, but here is Action Comics 1052. I like that cover with Superman and all the Superman characters. It's kind of cool. I got Avengers No Way Home number 6, and I think Eddie said this is when Conan comes and joins the Avengers. I believe this is the issue where Eddie said he comes back. And I actually got 7, another Conan issue. So I believe this is the issue Eddie said that Conan comes to modern day and joins the Avengers. So, and I think Eddie was trying to find an issue there of Savage Avengers where with Conan and stuff, and but sorry, I had Dawn of DC upside down, the Action Comics issue, but I think that's what he was looking for on the trip. There was an issue that he was looking for that run. But me personally, it's kind of weird that I'm holding an issue that says 1052. I never would have imagined collecting back 30 years ago when I first started getting Action Comics. I remember picking up issue 700. And I said, will I be collecting, in 20 or 30 years? And will I still be doing this? And it's just amazing that you can sit there and pick these issues up. It's like, damn, that's how time goes. Time goes by so quick. And like I said, it was 94, 31 years ago. It was 1994. And I remember the Fall of Metropolis, issue 700. And I was like, man, it's weird how time goes by so quick. But now I'm going to go ahead and show off some nice books that I picked up from the game store in town. And he still hasn't really gotten anything big in yet. He's waiting, he's trying to get stuff that he can. They get priced cheap. But hopefully he'll get some stuff. One of the books that I did pick up for the $2 bin was Injustice number 2, number 1. This Injustice series became one of the most popular series. And this is the GameStop variant. And I like that with Batman, man. Look at that with Batman. It's kind of cool. I thought, I'm going to go ahead and pick that up for $2. That's a nice little variant there. Another one I picked up, and this one was the issue of Doom Patrol. And I was trying to find the final issue of Doom Patrol. I actually looked in a couple places. I think I even looked in, I think I forgot to look in B&D. I should have looked, because I'm always about final issues. But this is Doom Patrol number 83. One day I'm going to get that final issue of Doom Patrol from the Vertigo series. Because everybody remembers the Grant Morrison run on that. And by the time the book was ending, it really wasn't as good. From what I heard, it kind of sucked. Uh, and I personally just want the Grant Morrison run, but I'll be happy to get the final issue because that's something I collect as final issues, as you know. Now I picked up. Now here's a good one shot, and I think there's something special about this, but I went ahead and got it. I'll have to do some research. But I went ahead and picked up Vertigo Jam, and it's actually got a cool cover of Robot Man, and it's got God, I can't think, the Changing Man. It's got John Constantine. I like all the characters just all together, just like in a unique spot there. See, you can see them all. That's kind of cool. Now, one of the series that for fun that I went and picked up, and this is really a series that I'm starting to hunt down, is Amazing Adventures. And I decided to go through and just start nailing down a lot of the Amazing Adventures run that they had there. And one of the first ones I got was the first appearance of Killraven. First appearance of Killraven. It's number 18, Adventures. Amazing Adventures features War of the Worlds, which I thought, that'd be kind of a cool issue to get. Another one I got was number 32, Amazing Adventures 32. This is a nice one. And like I said, I'm trying to get this whole run eventually. And I got Amazing Adventures number 34. And then I got Amazing Adventures number 35. And I don't know if this is the final issue or not. It might be. Like I said, I was trying to get issues of this. I'm thinking about getting this whole run if I can find it cheap. Because there's no need to pay expensive for Killraven unless he gets a movie. Yeah, that could happen. I mean, it's Marvel. You never know. Okay. Now, I did pick up 2 more issues. Like I said, these were almost all of these were in the dollar bin except that Injustice issue. And I picked up Justice League International. And this was part of the Convergence run, the storyline. Where, all the past versions of the DC universe, all different Silver Age, Bronze Age, all these characters just appear. And the story makes no sense. I think, God, I can't describe it. Like, there's a character, and I think Brainiac's involved, and he's captured these cities from different eras. And it was basically DC was like, okay, let's try to bring back the previous history. And then like a year later, they decide like, okay, we're just throwing the New 52 to the wayside. And at the time, Convergence was devised while DC was moving their offices to the West Coast. And it's like I said, it's a screwed up storyline. I can't really describe it. I mean, it's just too much work. I can't. My brain would. I thought it was kind of cool. The best part of Convergence is they introduced young Jonathan Kent. That's probably the best key book to get out of her, And DC could have really done more with Jonathan Kent, I think, as a young kid with the Super Sons. And, I mean, they could still do it, But that to me, I think that's the only key book out of the whole entire thing. If you're just looking for first appearances. And I've got it. I actually hunted it down after I was like, okay, I got to get that first appearance before it gets crazy. But speaking of first appearances, the store did have the games. I'm shocked this book was still sitting there for $1. It is actually New X-Men 114. I've got this book already, but I went ahead and picked up another copy because it's got the first appearance of Cassandra Nova. And this is when Grant Morrison come in, and I mean, he just came in and just rebooted the X-Men, made him cool, and he put them in leather and stuff like that. And that run was a pretty damn good run. I was gonna say a pretty darn good run. I mean, and the art, Frank Wheatley art, and everything well clicked. And like I said, this is the first appearance of Cassandra Nova in this storyline, so it's worth it. It's worth picking up. Now we're going to get to the stuff that I got with Eddie. Now. I'm going to go ahead and show some magazines first. Yes, before we get to the comics, I want to show some magazines. Yes, I'm such a tease. I'm teasing you. I'm trying to lure you in. Tease you.
Well, we're waiting.
So, at B&D, I actually picked up some pretty cool magazines. I actually had planned to pick up some more Hellblazer, but I was like, I'm gonna go in. I started going through the dollar boxes, and they found some good magazines there. And one of them was this cool homage cover of Hero Illustrated #6 with Spider-Man. I thought this was cool. I showed it to Eddie. Eddie liked it. He's like, man, it's a cool cover. And I used to get Hero Illustrated when I used to go into Walden Books back in the 90s. And Hero was in the shadow of Wizard. It wasn't as good. There were certain aspects. Like, Hero had better interviews, I thought. Because he interviewed Alan Moore and other different people. And it was like the interviews were a little bit better. But they also had the Hero Illustrated... gosh, I can't think. They had these, like, mini books. Like, they had the Star Wars stuff. So they had some good stuff at times. Now... Like, they had with the bags that you would open, you'd find these little books. Like, I think the X-Files came in one of these magazines, too. I think I got it at Steel somewhere. But this one actually made me get, because I was going to say, it had some nice articles here. This is from 1992, I believe. 92 or 93. It says, vote for the new Punisher. Spotlight on Sergio Paganis, who does Gru. And you have... homing in on Zero Hour, and I've always been a big Zero Hour fan because that was right at when I started. It was like everything was seriously kicking when I started comics, started collecting. So that was one I got, and the Superman You Never Saw. I can't wait to read this one. Like I said, I love magazines like that. Now, the next one actually is about Batman, and I actually picked this one up because this was based on the '89 Batman. This is the first issue of Phantasm. I've never seen... I just discovered this is the first issue. And it's got Jack Nicholson's Joker. It's got the Michael Keaton Batman. It's got Star Trek. And like I said, they had priced these for like... I think this was like a couple bucks. It was like... The magazines was in the cheap bins. And he had told me, that guy, he said, we just got some magazines in. He said, we just put them over there. So that was good. Now... Here's one where Eddie was surprised because he said, you found this for $1? I was like, yeah, because me and him was riding down the road and I pulled it out and showed it to him. I said, yeah, I found this for $1. There's a dollar sticker. It's Creepy number 98. Yeah. Creepy magazine number 98. I love Creepy. Creepy was always one of my favorite horror magazines from the Warren Publishing. So this was kind of a nice little pickup there. So it's kind of cool. And that's the Creepy there, huh? Yeah, you can tell it's worn. You can tell where, there's like the pages bent right there and stuff. That's why it was $1. I mean, it was not in near mint shape. They're not going to sell a near mint Creepy number 98 for $1. Trust me. Now, these two was in good shape. I think these was $2 a piece, I believe. But I picked these up because I think I have one of these with Batman in it. Because I'm always picking up magazines with Batman from the 80s. So, I picked up the first copy of Comics Collector with Superman. I thought this was kind of cool. There's Superman holding up the Action Comics. And this was Superman's, look at this. $13.5 is what an Action Comic sold for back in the 80s, man. I mean, that... One time me and Eddie was going down the road, and I like picking up price guides too. Old price guides that Overstreet. So I opened one of these, like, tell me what the price is on a Batman 232. Tell me what the price is. So I'm sitting there, I'm looking like, for fun, I'm just reading him off these prices, and we're just like, oh, God. People didn't know, man. People didn't know that these books would become like this. Hot New Mini X-Men Revolution, but... this was Superman's 45th anniversary. So, Superman came out in 1937, I believe. Yeah, I think it was probably 1982. This is probably not, yeah, the spring of 83. Yeah, so there we go. Spring of 83. That was 42 years ago. My mind is 42 years ago. Yeah, 42. I like the Donald Duck cover on the back, though. Those Don Rosa issues, I've checked out some issues. I'd like to get Uncle Scrooge when he's in the Klondike. Man, those things were expensive. I was like, I forgot where I looked those up. I think I looked them up on My Comic Shop or Mile High. Now, this one came out in winter of 1984. And this one is actually the... Gosh, this is the... I don't know if this is the X-Men's anniversary or not, but here we go. This is the X-Men cover, classic 80s. This was 41 years ago. 41 years ago. It's just amazing, you know, just amazing. And another Uncle Scrooge cover on the back. Something with Uncle Scrooge. But yeah, this was nice. You know, I'm a big fan of these magazines. I'm a big fan of these magazines. I mean, I was like, I don't know if they're worth anything, but, you know, having a piece of history of the X-Men and Superman and these old anniversary issues from the 80s is kind of cool. That's just me. So I'm kind of excited to read these. Okay, now we're going to get to the comics. Now, I did buy a couple issues, I think, new. And the first two is actually newer issues. I picked up the long discussed Deadpool and Batman team up, which a lot of people are saying has actually helped comics. They said this crossover has helped reinvigorate the industry, because they took two of the hottest characters. They took Batman and Deadpool, which was really a wise decision to do, and they put them together in a book. And a lot of creators took part in this, and it's the new start. People think of the new start of the DC and Marvel deciding to come together and deciding to just pretty much kickstart the industry again, trying to get light a match under the industry. And so they're going to do crossovers. And Eddie found me this one. He said, "Hey, I got you," because we looked in Big Lick and he didn't have it, so he found this in B&D for me. So that was nice of him. To find, you know. The A-Team helps each other. And like you saw in the video, I found him that Avengers 265, I think it was the issue number, and he needed the Council of Kangs, or as I call it, the Council of Thangs. But I found him that issue, and he's like, and there was another issue. I was like, and I was trying to find it for him. And he's like, but I will call out issues in my head, and there's like two of them I hit on. You're going to see the next issue in here. Anyhow, he found me this one. He said, "Hey, you have to get this one. This is Godzilla versus the Fantastic Four." And he told me that Godzilla had faced different characters in these one-shots, but he said this was the best one. So I'm going to take Eddie's word on that. Now, we're going to get to some dollar books. A lot of dollar books. A lot. Now, basically, I have issue number 1 of this series, and it's called Exterminators. So I picked up Exterminators number 2. There's Exterminators number 2. I picked up Exterminators number 3. I just wanted to go ahead and complete the miniseries. I saw it sitting there. I was like, and he had issue 1. I said, well, I've already got number 1 of this. So I'm going to go ahead and get the 3 issues that I need of it. And I got issue number 4. Yeah. It's a 4-issue miniseries. Yes, the New Mutants show up in this, and I think Boom Boom is the biggest part of this. I think that's the character's name. But, yeah. Exterminators was one I wanted to pick up. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get that series because I want to finish it out. Because I saw there's a lot of books there that I could have finished runs out on. You know, I was going through, I was like, no, I don't know about that. But anyhow, speaking of X-Men, I did pick up an issue, and Boom Boom, this is just weird of this, I actually got X-Factor number 12. I checked my list, and I actually needed this. And this was in the dollar bin. You know, you could find some gold in those dollar bins, folks. Check your dollar bins, because sometimes people are sleeping on some of these books they're going to put there. I mean, if you want to complete your runs, I mean, sometimes you can find a good first appearances. And trust me, I found some decent first appearances that you're going to see. Now, this is the one that me and Eddie was talking about. We was joking about. And I actually found this issue, and I tried to find Eddie a copy of it. I couldn't do it. You know, this is one I couldn't find him an issue copy of. It is Night Thrasher number 15, where he faces the Hulk. Yeah, this happened. What? This happened. I had no clue. And this is part 1 of Money Don't Buy. I I'll be honest with you. I never did read Night Thrasher. I got some new Warriors issues, but this is just one of those weird things that you're like, really? He fought the Hulk? Why? Why, folks? Why? Now, I was going through the dollar bin and I was looking for some stuff, and I'm always going to pick up a Batman book. And I'm a sucker for Batman. I'm a sucker. Sucker for Batman. Anyhow, I found Detective Comics number 1048. And I tell you what, some of these covers, some of these unique covers have gotten really more photogenic. And this is one of them. This is Harley Quinn, Batman Detective one. Again, like I said, the first time I picked up Detective Comics was before, right when Nightfall was going on. And it was in the 600s. So if you would have told me 30 plus years later I'd be picking up issue 1048, I would probably be like, really? I'm still collecting comics by then? Dang, darn. But yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. It's one of those hobbies that I love to do. And I don't buy many new books. If I find them for $1, that's fine. 'Cause like I said, I don't collect much new stuff. And that Batman team up and that Godzilla thing was what Eddie pulled out for me. Now, speaking of new books, Jeff Johns had come back to DC, and his book is running late. it's Jeff Johns. He's always going to be running late on something. And he come back and he decided to do Justice Society of America again. He's had like 2 or 3 different runs on the book, but it's not going to equal his first run. That first run in the 2000s was special. I mean, I've got the trade paperbacks of it. I'm like, man, this is some really good stuff. But the second run, not as good. And then this is his third run. So Justice Society of America number 1, which I found in the dollar bins. What happened to the JSA? I don't know if it ties into the time thing. This is Justice Society of America number 2. And this is part of All In, the new age of, this is, and I think he's late on these issues again.